custom attributes and communication consents are key elements that must be properly set up before importing a customer list into ECDP. Attributes are a type of data that describes customers. They form the basis for personalization and segmentation of marketing campaigns. Let's start by adding attributes. In the ECDP platform, you can choose from two types of attributes. System attributes are built-in general customer characteristics, such as name, email address, recent activity, and total amount spent. Non-standard attributes are unique customer characteristics that you can define individually. Both types of data allow you to analyze group behavior in detail, create effective customer segments, and better target your marketing communications. To define system attributes, click Settings, then Customers, and indicate the minimum customer data, that is, basic information about customers that must be imported into the platform and which will facilitate their identification without logging into an account when, for example, shopping in your online store. You need to select at least one of them. Required Customer Information Fields amount specifies how much data will be required for a successful import from the file. All of the above means that all the selected data must be present, and any of the above means that at least one of the selected data must be available for import. In the Default Match Mode field, select the main data by which your customers will be identified. This setting will be useful for generating reports and for mapping columns when importing customer data from a file. In the Duplicates and Import field, select how you want to deal with duplicate data. The Ignore Duplicates command will cause only the first record of duplicate data to be imported into the platform, and the rest will be skipped. In turn, the Process All command will create one record from duplicate customer data. Duplicate data presented higher in your file will be overwritten with data lower down. If you group and segment customers by attributes other than system ones, you can add them to the platform in the following way. Click the Custom Attributes tab and then create New Custom Attribute. In the Name field, enter a unique name for the feature that will easily distinguish it from others. In the Display Name field, enter the name under which the feature will be displayed to customers in the Preference Center. In the Type field, select the data type specific to this feature. String means a sequence of characters, letters, or numbers, for example, email address. This field can hold a maximum of 256 characters. Text means a string of characters, letters, or numbers, up to 2048, for example, additional address, color, brand, or product type. Note that this text-based data is not available in segmentation, so you will not be able to build a customer segment based on it. Number is a numeric value other than an amount. It will allow you to display, for example, the number of orders placed by the customer or the average number of goods in the cart. Money is a numerical value in a currency, such as average order value or highest value purchase. Date means storing dates, for example, date of birth, holiday dates, newsletter subscription date. Date and time means storing dates together with the exact time. Single list allows you to add variants, such as sizes or colors. Yes/no is a checkbox that can store information about, for example, free delivery. URL stores a URL address up to 256 characters long, for example, a link to a product or a campaign. In the description field, enter additional information about this attribute, for example, in what situation it should be used, meaning for what customer segment or promotional campaigns it was created. Select whether you want this attribute to be visible in the Preference Center. If you click Save, you will create a new customer attribute that will appear in the table. However, before you import the customer database, you must set up consents. The law requires that each customer to whom you send a recurring message or a one-off offer consents to receive such communication. Consents are required for each communication channel separately, so there may be many of them, especially if you run a large e-commerce business. To manage consents, select Settings and then Consents. In the Consents tab, you will find tables with consents assigned to the channels you use to communicate with customers via ECDP, for example, email. To create a new consent, click Create New Consent. In the name field, enter your own consent name. In the display name field, enter the name under which the consent will be displayed to customers in the Preference Center. In the type field, select the consent type. General if the customer has given one consent to contact through all the channels you use, or when distinguishing communication channels is not important for you from a marketing point of view, because, for example, you do not segment customers in this respect. Select Email Related if you communicate with customers primarily by email. Select SMS Related if you communicate with customers via SMS. In the description field, enter additional description or comments. In the Required by Default section, select in which situations consent is mandatory. Now click Save to save your settings. You can also import consents to the platform along with other customer data. To import consents in the side menu, find the Customer section and then go to the Customer subsection. For the import to be successful, prepare the data properly. The file must include a column with customer data, for example, email, phone number, or CRM ID. Bear in mind that consents must be placed in columns, and the name of the consent in the column must be the same as its name added to the platform. If you are importing more than one consent, place each consent in a separate column. You also need to assign consents to customers appropriately. Enter 1 if the customer consented, or 0 if the customer did not consent. This is an example of a properly prepared consent file. It must meet these requirements, and its size for the indicated formats cannot exceed 28 MB. At the top right, click Import Customers. Now click Select File. Indicate the location of the consent file and click Open. The file will then be loaded onto the platform. Select the appropriate import type. The last option, Update Existing Customers without adding new ones, will be the best if your customer's data is already in the platform and you want to add only consents. Specify the primary identifier by which customers will be recognized during import. By default, we display the ID selected earlier in the Default ID field. We explained this earlier when adding customer attributes. Enable Replace with empty value when you want to import customer data with missing data in the default identifying field. Now go to Advanced Settings. Indicate what attributes were used to separate data in the imported file. If you are using a CSV file, the separator character will be a comma. If you are using the TXT format, it will be tab. Enable the file has headers option if the file contains column names. For example, email address, name, surname, date of birth. We recommend choosing UTF-8 as the character encoding method. Below, you will see a preview of the data after import. If the result is far from expected, you need to map the columns. If the data displays correctly, click Save. Import has just started. It usually takes a few minutes and depends on the amount of data in the file. The more data, the longer it will take. After the import is completed, you will receive a notification, which can be found in the side menu in the Notifications section. You can also add a new consent for each customer separately. Select the email address you are interested in and click the Client 360 icon. Then, click Edit Customer. All consents to communication with the customer entered by you into the platform will be displayed at the bottom of the window. Select the consent you are interested in and click Save. In the same place, you can also uncheck the consents assigned to the customer if they have withdrawn them.